Hey traders, how you doing? It's been a wild ride over the last couple of weeks, and I just want to take a look at the markets and have a bit of a roundup. It's been interesting to watch some of the peers and some of the instruments that we've been trading look like they're finally taking a rest, particularly silver and gold. Now, the big question is how much of a rest? We've seen silver pull back a little bit, and just a little bit, and I think you've got to be really, really careful with your rhetoric because there's real power in the words that you speak. And what I mean by that is that if you see a picture and or hear a comment and the comment goes, "Wow, gold's dropping," well, suddenly you're going, "I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss." And you go have a look at the chart, and it looks like a great opportunity, and you go piling in, but the pullback's real shallow. How many times have I been caught with my pants down like that? Anyway, enough of this crazy talk. Let's get right into the markets and just just have a review of where we're at, and then we're going to put our feet up and enjoy the weekend. So we know the deal. This isn't financial advice. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. You know, but by watching this video, it is for only educational purposes. You do not hold the producers of this video liable for any of the information that is shared. It's my own personal opinions and how I see the market. And if you are able to glean anything that's helpful, well, that's an added bonus for you. But it's, remember, for information and educational purposes only. So let's get right into it. The star performers have been gold and silver. There is no question about that. So let's go have a look at gold. So we look at this. We reached up. We were so close, man. What did we get to? 268. Wow, who would have thought about that a year ago? So we'll just take a quick look at the daily chart. There's nothing too much to say about this. On Friday, we've seen a good pullback. And like I mentioned in the chat room, I decided to take my profit, have pending orders waiting to go up here. And well, that's about all I've got to say about that. So what am I looking for in the coming week? I'm looking now for a bottom in here. And again, as I've said before, I really don't know where it's going to bottom out. We've seen the bottoms here and short consolidation ranges. Another little bottom here. I mean, the way that this dawdle creeped up slowly is interesting. We're always looking for moves like this on the market. That's the moves I really want to trade, and it's real hard to trade this stuff here. You sit, you get a good candle information. You get a good candle formation here, and you put a pending order up above this area of resistance, and away you go. Look how many days it dawdles up. You come back, you'd have your stop loss just under here, and you dawdle up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up a little bit because that's where your entry would have been. Then you're down a little bit, 6, 7, 8, 9 days, 10. You've got 2 trading weeks in here, and then it pokes its head up. So you are starting to just collect a little bit of money by that stage, and you've got your trading stops in, and you can put them in as you go. And then you've got, so that's roughly 10 now, 2 trading weeks, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or another 2 weeks, and then boom. So you've waited for 2 weeks, but it was worth it, wasn't it? I mean, I just kept adding all the way up every time it broke key levels. Great trade. And now we're taking a rest. And I'm not going to say there's a Fibonacci here and a crown here, or we're due for a pullback of 386. All of that stuff is could be relevant and could be true, but the reality is this: the market will tell you what it's doing, and you could say this here is an inefficient move, and there's been more buyers than sellers in the market. And it went up, and then it went along, and then it went up for another move again, and of course we've stopped. And one of the things that I've picked up over the years is that, once it has a move like this, it generally takes a rest. Technically, all the experts say A, B, and then pull back. But just let the market tell you. All of those things have truth in them, but we don't know. The current market conditions and the global catastrophe that's taking place in terms of economics and COVID, market sentiment is very, very hard to pick. And so what the best that I could hope for is just wait to see a bottom, and when you get a lot of indecision like this, you can tell that it's in a range. So I'm just going to be watching this here, and we'll see. I've still got my penny normals up here, but you know what? I'd really like to buy again from as low as I can. Well, there's 1900. Wouldn't it be great if we did get a pullback all the way to here? It's in these times here that traders get beaten up, and all the profits that you won way back there get eaten up. So be patient. I'm not tempted to trade the pullback because I haven't been on my computer. Sometimes I do, and that's, to me, is sort of where scalping comes in. But if I'm scalping, I need to be around and have a couple of 3 hours up my sleeve and trade on the smaller time frames. But this is where I make my bread and butter. So just wait for your levels there. So, pat yourself on the back. You've had a good run. You've made a lot of money. Silver's been brilliant. And it's even been going up quicker than gold. And I've discovered that dollar for dollar, you earn more money on silver. So here we are, same sort of place again. 30 is the next level for silver. And on Thursday night, for me, I got back in again because it broke 28. So I'm actually in a trade, and I'm currently upside down. And that's okay, because I know fundamentally we're going higher. And I'm not worried about it, It's okay. I don't carry big drawdowns. You won't see me carry trades that are upside down for years, 18 months, because I'm trading a crown on the monthly or the weekly. But I do understand and believe that with the current climate, economic climate conditions, that silver's going through the roof. And I will have a cutoff point, but I don't believe that we're going to see silver drop down below. Well, they could just come down and retest in here, and that's 24.85. And all I'll do is wait, and then when it turns, whether it turns here, here, or here, I'll just trade it back, and by the time I get up to here, I'd be break even again plus. Now, in the event of it coming low and quick, a bit like great big impulse things, I would make a decision to get out and cut my losses. But if the current economic climate continues, I'm just going to ride this baby out, because what we'll do now is, and more than likely, either it'll go sideways along this horizontal line somewhere, or we're going to get a big swing. And the market moves in ways, and we're looking at big time frames because we want the big money, and it's just going to come around, and it might go sideways, you don't know, and then it'll move up. So there you have it. Now the other star, well, not star, but Euro USD, with the dropping of the US dollar index, we had this move up on the Euro USD, and it started 3 weeks ago. And this is the beauty about support and resistance. We had a test of 114, we swung around, and we had another test again. Now you've got to decide at that point whether this is a double top and we're going back down. And it's a bob each way. It's 50-50. I don't care how good your analysis is. You'll come out with an opinion. 50% say, all right, we're going back down because we've got a double top and go left here and blah, blah, blah. All those are relevant considerations. But come and have a look at the weekly. And this is why I like to get direction from the bigger time frames. Okay, we're in a strong weekly trend. I'm sure you'd agree with me. And what we can do is just, for the sake of the exercise, there it is there. Now when we were down in here, and we had one more little push, and it bottomed out at 108. It broke the trend line, and I know that trend lines are sort of support and resistance, but they're not that good at times because they are subjective. And look where we had the break here. Those that swear by Fibonacci's and trend lines like that, they'd be jumping in all over it. And look at the levels we price reacted, and it's legit to jump all over it at that point. And if we have a look, it ran 349 pips, and you could take it because you had a confluence between a real key area of resistance and a break of the trend line. But that doesn't mean to say it's reversed. And so after 2 weeks, it came back down and sat there and had one little exhaustive push. And these are price action patterns and habits in the market, and they happen over and over again. And if you trade support resistance, it's just real simple. So we've been trading the Euro USD up from here, and here's the breakout, and then the following week, 2 weeks, it pulled right back and did a retest. And so if this is truly going to be a reversal, and for me, it's not a reversal until you make a higher high. So we had the first push up, we had the retest, and then we broke through here. Now I'm happy to call it a reversal. So we are at an inflection point here, and it's around about 1900, 20 pips just above that. You could pull it back down, and if you look left, you can see where price reacted in here. So what I'm looking for again this week, if the dollar index continues to fall or to come down, we will get a break at the next level on a lot of the US cross pairs. You can see that this is a real strong support area on the US dollar. So let's be patient, guys. You can see this weekly candle has not been as strong as that one, but it's been okay. And there's been a few nickels and dimes on some crosses that we've been able to pick up. But generally, we haven't travelled far. I mean, you just have a look at the Aussie, because I gave a heads up on that, on both the Aussie Japan, and that's where we've got a heads up. Let me have a look here. So I gave you a heads up on this, and I also gave you a heads up on this. But look what it's done. It got going and then it pulled back. And in these scenarios, this is why you want your stop losses, 97 pips. So it actually ran around about 37 pips. That's the reason why. So if I can afford to trade at one standard lot, I'll split it. Or if I can afford to trade at 3 standard lots, instead of taking one position, I'll take 3. And what I'm trying to do is get some money in the bank, because when this broke out here, I was looking for it to take out here, but because this was a key area on the Aussie JPY breaking 76, I was prepared to have a run at this, because they're not always fakies. Now we've got 3 triple top. Now, if this is going to break south again, it's got to break that trend line. Aussie USD. Same thing, we had the break. I gave you a heads up. That was a better trade than the Aussie JPY. And your stop losses would have stopped you out, but you would have got a few nickels and dimes. And a few weeks ago we talked about we're looking for a breakout of here. And that's really it. They are really the main pairs that, they've been, gold, silver been the star performers. So now we're having a break. They're having a rest, and we'll wait to see what happens next week. Just keep your eye on these levels. Now, that's about all I've got to say about the market. And there's no point going through all the charts, because there's no more trades that are anywhere close near what I would regard as a decent setup. Remember, we're interested in getting the big money. You want to make a living out of Forex, you've got to get into the big money. And like I said in the chat room, if you cannot run with the big dogs, stay on the course. Because if you really want to make the decent money and earn a living and be in that 10% of people that do as retail traders, you have to start putting yourself in front of these kind of moves. And you're talking big money. You all know that I trade standard lots, and if I think that the trades aren't as good as some of the others I take, I just alter my trade license or trade lot size. And if I don't think that the trade warrants a standard stop loss, instead of taking 3 standard lots and splitting it up, and as I do, taking profits, and you can do that with one lot size. But it's just for me, my nature, my personality, it works best. You don't have to do that. Trading is always very personal, and you have to get inside your own head and sort yourself out. You can take the basic principles of support and resistance and be very, very successful with it. So having said all that, I just want to give you a heads up with where I'm at. I've been in a big learning curve in terms of learning how to do this stuff and share stuff on the channel. I'm not the person that hypes it up, and I'm got a little bit of tech knowledge and know-how enough to be dangerous to get myself into trouble. But now that I've been doing this, I hope that I've been improving, and coming up in the next wee while, I'm going to start a series on the channel, Pathway to Success, how you can find the simplicity of support and resistance that can lead you to fulfilling your dreams and aspirations of of trading. Now, we get into trading to make money. We get into trading to earn a living. If we lose our job, we get into trading to earn a living. I do. And I supplement my income in the early days. I trade full time. I gave up my job 4 years ago. And I'm doing this. So, I want to give you an email address. So this email is my email address. It's going to be the email address that you can contact me on if you have any questions, and I will answer those questions. I will come back to you. So I get a lot of emails, and I do a lot of one-on-one coaching in Forex, and that's the side of what I do where I get paid a cup of coffee to sit with you and coach you for an hour. And if you're interested in any of that stuff, just email me. But I have a passion to help traders. I've been one of those traders that got ripped off, paid far too much money for education, and joined educational institutions, which I won't name. And their solution to me when I wasn't succeeding with their wonderful fortune making strategies was to try and sell me another strategy. I know people that have spent $50,000, $60,000 on education. They're still not succeeding. Success to me is being able to earn enough money and grow your account, pull off money every week, even if it's a supplement, even if it's only part-time. You're not successful unless your $1,000 that you started with now is $2,000 1 month later or 2 weeks later. It's not success unless you're growing your account, and unless you want it, and unless you're achieving your goals. So here is the email. Email me. The other thing I'd like you to do is subscribe. Stay with me. I've turned my trading around. I'm not going to hype it up, and I'm not going to try and convince you that I'm not lying and I'm telling the truth. You will see that I am. And if you're interested in joining our chat room, where I share ideas and other people sometimes share ideas and ask questions, it's not about one way. It's about walking arm in arm and becoming victorious in our trading, triumphant in our trading. I want you to succeed. So ping me if you've got any questions, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the chat room. And this stuff is free. This stuff is free. I'm making money out of Forex. I do not need to charge you a fee for this. It's crap. If people genuinely want to help people and they're genuinely successful in Forex, they're making so much money. If they are, they don't need the money. So come with me on this ride and on this journey. And if you guys out there that are more techy than me, if you've got suggestions and you want to help and be a part of helping others, then email me. Now, just before I close off, one proviso. If you do come in to the chat room that I run, we respect one another. We don't have smutty language or smutty jokes or racist remarks or anything like that. As long as you behave yourself and you treat each person with dignity and respect, I'll let you stay there. But the minute that you cross those lines, I will beat you out. I'll give you one chance. You might have made a mistake. I'll say, hey mate, let's keep it seemly. Let's not go there. And a training room is about sharing ideas. It's about being able to watch what I do in the hope that you may be able to learn something from that and come to the place of success I have. So take care. Have a great week here. and we'll see you in the chat room. Cheers.